Friday. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live training of eIMMIGRATION. We are so glad you're joining us today. My name is Vanessa, and on behalf of Cerenade, thank you for your interest in learning more about eIMMIGRATION. Today, we're covering a basic training for new users, and this is a live training. You can ask me questions. We are recording it, so please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel today so you receive the notifications when we upload new videos. We also appreciate when you hit the like button. Today's PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to be using today is available for you to download if you click on the Handouts section in your GoToWebinar panel. All right, so let's get started. Today's basic training, we're going to cover the basic 3 steps: how to create a contact, how to link members, and how to create cases. We're going to start with that and show you what the alternate view is, how to use the questionnaires and how to create your own, how to add translations, and then, of course, once you gather the data from your clients, how to auto-populate your forms. Then we're going to cover the client overview, case process steps and activities, how to create comments or logs, reminders, what the new feature, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's recently added, the smart alerts, the tickler, and lastly, document assembly. As you see, we have a full agenda, so let's get started. I'm gonna play the first video. You're gonna watch the video, and then we're gonna take up. All right, so let's get started with this one, how to create your clients or contacts, and we'll go from there. You can also message me your questions, and we'll take care of them too.
Hello, and welcome to our Cerenade video. In this video, we will go over how to create a client profile via the Caseworker portal. From the home page, click on the Create button and proceed to click on Client and Contact. You will see a pop-up giving you the ability to enter client details. If it is an individual, select Individual. If it is an employer profile you wish to create, select Business. Proceed to enter details of the client. Once finalized, you will click on Create Contact. You are now brought into the client profile. Everything is divided into right-hand tabs. If you select the option to create an individual client profile, you will see sections specific to the individual. If you selected the business client profile, you will see sections specific to a company and/or organization. You will go section by section on the tabs to the right, applying info that applies to your case. Be sure to save every time you enter data on a section of the client profile. Once you have your profile completed, this info will then transfer to case forms. In upcoming videos, we will show you specific areas of the client profile. This concludes our video on creating a client profile.
So I was in the middle of actually typing a response. Let me show you. I'm going to respond to the question. Let me log in into my Caseworker portal. So the question was where to enter LU numbers, I-130 receipt numbers, NVC case numbers, and last entry info. So I'm going to show you really quick. Right now, we learned how to create a client or a contact profile. By the way, the prospect or lead is the same thing. You just change the status, okay? You're going to create a contact for a prospect. I'm going to access, if I click here, I can access a specific client. If I click on edit, I can open the profile. If I use a shortcut, we call it load more data button. You can click there and you can load more data, access quick links. All right, so I can go straight to any of the specific areas of the profile. So the first question was where to enter alien number. It's right here. Alien number is under the general info basic information page. And this is a contact profile. If you want to enter the I-130 or any USCIS receipt number, we recommend that you subscribe to the Times Tracker module. But even if you don't have that module, you can still go to the case. You have to have a case established. I'm going to show you how to create the case. But let's say that you have an existing case and you want to add the receipt. Again, you can also use the load more data button and you can go straight to the area of documents right here. Under the documents on the left-hand side, you can see immigrant visas and notices. I made a mistake and I put under receipts, but it's not receipts. The word is notices. Okay, so you're going to add the notice and track that. Ideally, you want to have like I said, the optional module is Times Tracker so that you can get the email when the petition becomes available or eligible. And the NVC, oh, what else did you ask me? Oh, the last entry info. You're going to go to the contact profile under documents. We have I-94s. Even if you don't have the I-94 number, you still need to enter the arrival date, arrival city, arrival state, and make sure that you check this box that says current if you want this information to transfer to the forms. Let me close. All the other, like I said, all the other receipts go here. Okay, so here's where you can just, by the way, this is also customizable from the administrator portal. All right, so let's continue. Thank you for the questions. Again, we have a chat questions section where you guys can message me all your questions. All right, let me go back to our PowerPoint presentation, which by the way, you can download. If you notice on the GoToWebinar panel, you can download my PowerPoint. So after you create the contact profile, like we did with this one, let me go back. We created a contact profile. The second step after you have the client's profile is to also link her family members, children, spouse, parents, a joint sponsor, anyone who's going to be present on the form. All right, so you want to save time by linking them. You want to click here, link member. Either you search right here, search client name, or again, most likely you wanna create a new contact at the bottom. A lot of people make the mistake of typing, creating the contact right here, but this is only to search. When you create, you click here, new contact. Now, when you create the contact for the family member, obviously enter the information, but don't generate a client number. Okay, you're gonna enter the information, create the contact, and then it's gonna ask you for the relationship. What's the type of relationship? I'm gonna say I don't know, like daughter, son, spouse. So you select the type of relationship and then click link. It's gonna take you back to this area where you have uh, the family member and the type of relationship. You can always click here to unlink someone, and it's going to ask you, are you sure? You can click OK or cancel. But again, this is where you have them linked, and then you can click on the link to go to their profile. In fact, you can see the tab. It says Andrew Anthony. I don't have a client number because he's not the client. He is just the son, right? Did I click on the son? Yeah, the son. All right, let me take a look at the questions. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, thank you for asking questions. I always like when you guys interact and it's not a monologue. All right, so once we link the members, we want to create a case. Okay, we're going to show you how to create the case, and let me know if you have any questions.
Hello, and welcome to our Cerenade video. In this video, we will show you how to create a case. From the home page, you can either select the Create button and select Case, or select the quick links and proceed to select the Create Case wizard. The Case Wizard pop-up box should have appeared. From here, you will apply settings you want for this case. You will first select the department, meaning which location. You will let the software auto-generate a case number for you, or you can select the case number yourself. You will give it a case name if you wish to apply one. You will then select the case process. By doing so, the system will gather forms, process steps, and document checklists for a particular case. We already have these preloaded for you to choose from, and you can customize these in the admin tools if needed. Finally, you will select the program type and category. These are more for reporting purposes and can also be customized in the admin tools. You will click on Next. You will now assign caseworkers to this case. You can add more by searching a caseworker's name and clicking on their name once found. We will then decide which user we want their info to transfer to forms by clicking the Transfer to Forms button. We will click on Next. We will now link a client to the case. You can do this by searching their name. Once found, select them, and they are now linked to the case. You will define their role. You will find other client profiles you wish to link to the case, such as someone petitioning for a relative. Proceed to search them, Select them, and apply the role as beneficiary or alien. If creating an employment case, it's similar. You will search for the employer and select them. Once added, you will define their role as employer. By doing so, it allows you to select branch address and signatory you linked in the Employer's Members tab. You will then link the employee, who they are petitioning for, and link them as alien. You will make one of these clients as the main party and click on Next. You are now at the area that lists the forms. If you selected a case process on step 1, it will list forms associated to this case. If you didn't, you can manually add these here by searching and selecting the form. Once you have your forms, you will finalize by clicking on Save. Your case has now been created and you should be brought into the case to start working on the forms. If you ever need to come back and access the case, you can search it on the home page, specifically the Cases section, or if within the client profile, go to the Cases tab and you will find it there. Lastly, any recently created or updated case profiles will appear here on the home page. This concludes our video on creating a case profile.
All right, so that's how you create a case. And some questions arrived. Let me just read them. What does case name refer to? Honestly, most of our clients leave it blank. We have had clients in the past requesting that field for adding a case name, but the majority of our clients refer to the cases by case number. In fact, if you notice the case, let me go back to the field. Let me open one. The case name is not a mandatory field, so you can leave it blank. I actually have test here. But yeah, it's not a mandatory field. You can just use that to refer to the case, but like I said, you can just create the case number, and you can also customize it so that it shows the actual case type, the process, adjustment of status, naturalization, not just the client's name or last name. You can go to the admin and check the settings so that you can customize the case number. So it gives you more information. And it's not the same as a case process. You do have the process typer here. Thank you for the question. What are the benefits of adding family members, dependents, petitioner as a case party versus a member? Actually, it's a different thing. I'm glad you asked the question because um, a lot of people get confused when we cover that and say you have to link them as members, right? The reason why you want to link them as members is so that when the form is asking for children information or spouses information, it will transfer their data automatically, okay, regardless if they are part of the case. When you create a case, then you select the case role, such as petitioner, beneficiary, derivatives. It doesn't mean that, for example, the parents are going to be part of the case. But when you complete a form, it does ask for the parents' information, date of birth, nationality. So that's the reason why we recommend or encourage that you link the family members first. And when you create the case, then out of that list, let's quickly create one. Out of that list of members, then you're going to select who plays an actual role. So let's say we have an adjustment of status, and I'm going to click next. Here, you can see the family members that have been linked, but it doesn't mean that they're going to play a role. So only the ones such as the petitioner and the alien or the beneficiary you select, and the rest of the members, you can leave them blank. So that's the difference between linking a member and selecting a case party. Thank you for the question. Next question says, what is a process category for special immigrant juvenile status? You can actually customize that. Let me go back. Under the admin portal, these are mostly for nonprofit organizations like the program type, such as grants or program, so that you can run a report and you can select, right, the grant, and you can see that information in that report. And also the category is customizable, so you can add the special immigrant juvenile status here as well. Let me see. Oh, next question. How should a case be created if it's, for example, a U visa that has derivatives? Same thing. You have to link them as members. And when you create the case, you select that process for U visa. And the role will be the alien or petitioner. And oops, here are the derivatives. Just select them. When you get to the form, I'm going to show you right now. When you get to the form, you're going to see how The forms have a select button that you can click on, and it transfers that person regardless if you have them linked as a beneficiary or derivative. Even if you leave them blank, you can still click on the name, and that's another reason why we recommend that you link them, right, as members. In the linked member section, what does block all or assigned only mean? Okay, when you guys create an account for a client portal, sometimes let's say the client is not tech savvy, but the children are, right? So you send them access to a log or have them upload their mother's documents, things like that. So maybe they're not part of the case, but you want to assign them or give them access to all the notes or all the documents that you share with the petitioner or the alien, the client. So that's what it means. It means that they can also have a client portal access, and depending on the type of access that you give them, let me go back so that you guys understand what we're talking about. Over here. Okay, so this is what the person is asking about the member access to this client's cases. Blocked means that even if they log in into the client portal, they're not going to see anything that we share with Valeria. Okay, all is if I share a log or a comment, any document with Valeria, they can also see that if they log in into the client portal. All right. All right, so now I'm going to play the next video. Give me 1 second. So now we're going to learn what the alternate view is. For those who want to transfer or type information directly into an intake form instead of sending it to the clients. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
Hello, and welcome to our Cerenade video. In this video, we will discuss the alternate view. The alternate view is located within the client profile and allows you to view and enter info using questionnaires we have available. Additionally, with the addition of custom intake forms, you can create an intake form and fill it out using the alternate view. To access the alternate view, you must first locate a client profile. Proceed to search for a client. Once locating your profile, hover over the Actions button and select Edit. Once inside the client profile, locate the Alternate View button on the tabs to the right and click on it. You will now see a drop-down list. From here, select the questionnaire or intake sheet you wish to see. Once you select the questionnaire, you're now inside and can start filling out the questionnaire for the client. Once completing the questionnaire, click on Save. And once exiting the questionnaire, the client profile has now updated with the info you just entered. This concludes our video on the alternate view.
Oops, I was muted. Sorry. So as you can see, it's super beneficial to be able to type the information in the alternate view. Let me open one of the questionnaires. So let's say the general information for individual clients. So I can see the information that I have in the system already and make changes. For example, here, oops, I'm gonna type a new date of birth and save it. Wait always for the green bar notification on top that says the form was saved successfully, and then you can safely close the window. And now we can see that the date of birth has been updated. All right, so let me see. Oh, it says that you guys can see my screen. Can you confirm if you can see my screen? Okay, perfect. So let me do it one more time. So the alternate view allows you to access any of the questionnaires, including the ones that you design, the ones that you can create. And I was changing the date of birth. So let me do it one more time. I'm gonna save. This is a green bar on top that I was saying. Wait for it so that you can confirm that it was saved, and then you can safely close the alternate view. And you can see how the information has been updated in the profile. All right, so let's continue. I always recommend using the alternate view just because I think it's faster. All right, next we're going to play, give me 1 second. All right, By the way, for those who want to download my PowerPoint presentation, you can click on the links, and I added the videos so that you can watch the tutorial videos after the training. Okay? So what if the person is tech savvy and you want to send them a questionnaire? So you're going to click on, notice that I'm already in her profile. So I'm going to click on the plus sign on top left to send or create a questionnaire. And this person, if I want to send them a questionnaire to the client portal, obviously they need to have access to the portal. To create that, if you notice on the right-hand side of the menu, at the bottom, you have client access. So make sure that you enable the access for them, and you can send them the credentials so that once you pick the login name and the password, which by the way, I recommend that you keep it as simple as possible, or you can also generate the password automatically, whatever you prefer. But once you create that, you're going to click email credentials and let them know this is your username and password. You can also create your own template. So instead of saying dear client, maybe create one more personalized, or maybe an email in Spanish. Let's say, querida Valeria. So it auto-populated her name, and it's more personalized. And don't change the username or password brackets. Just leave them like that. I'm going to send that email, and now the client knows how to log in into the client portal. Then you can proceed to create the questionnaire. You're going to select to send it to Valeria or that client. You can also, by the way, print the questionnaires if you just want to preview them, or you can also add a link on your website. And sometimes you have a lot of prospects or clients that you need to send them the questionnaire at the same time. So you can do a hyperlink for a bulk email. So let's say you have an employment-based case such as H-1B, and you have 50 employees that you need to send this link to. So instead of creating each profile for all of these employees, you just send them the link and they can create their own account. All right, and then you just link them to the employer. Anyway, so let's send it to this client. Please know that we have two options. You can send a questionnaire, or you can, sorry, let me take it back. You can send a questionnaire to the client portal, or you can send a questionnaire with a passwordless link. Okay. In this occasion, I'm going to send the questionnaire to the client portal. I'm going to select the questionnaire. You can also select the questionnaire by the type of process. So if I say naturalization, it's going to give me the related questionnaires. Okay, so it's a lot easier to select by process. You simply select the questionnaire that, or the ones that are related to the process. I'm going to select that one. And of course, I can't send it because she has access to that questionnaire already. Let me go back and choose a different questionnaire. How about these? The thing is I'm using, oh, there we go. Okay, so I sent a couple of questionnaires. I can let her know via email. Also resend the credentials. I'm just gonna close and show you what happens when the client logs in into the client portal. She's gonna click on her inbox, and these are the questionnaires that we just sent. So let's open one. By the way, we have the translation available. I'm going to show you right now how to create your own questionnaires and also how to add the translation. So I'm going to pick Spanish. It translates the questions and translates the the instructions, sorry. All right, so let's just make a couple of changes right here and right here. Once we make the corrections, let's say the apartment is 210, and now we submit. The clients enter the information into the questionnaire, and then they submit. Once they submit, eImmigration is going to send you, Cerenade is going to send you an email notification. All right, so I'm just going to close and take you back. On your caseworker portal, you have also this little envelope. You have a mailbox. And in this mailbox, you have these questionnaires and forms. So here it is, the questionnaire that we received. We're going to open it. And by the way, you can also translate if you rather see the questions in Spanish as well. Notice that we highlight the areas or fields that have been modified. And so you can accept the changes, or you can send them back. You can send the question back to the client. I am going to accept. And by accepting the questionnaire, the information is going to update in her profile. So let's take a look. I can actually use the load more data button to go straight to the previous addresses and confirm that the information has been corrected right here to 10. All right, awesome. Let me know if you guys have any questions about sending and receiving questionnaires. Give me one moment because I'm reading all the questions that I can see your screen. Can questions that are asked in the questionnaire be saved as logs? Hmm. I would need to know why you want to do that because we have a custom report that you can create so that you can, gather that information. But I wonder why you want to do that. Questions that are asked in the questionnaire be saved as logs. Well, we don't have a feature that will save the questions as logs. You would have to copy paste pretty much to keep a log. Going back to generating a case, the process drop down menu does not seem to have. Oh, well, if it doesn't show that process, go to the admin. If you don't have the admin access, make sure that you contact your administrator because in the admin portal, they need to go to case processes and find the process that you don't have. Either it's been disabled, sometimes there is a process and it's probably disabled. So that's why you don't see it. So make sure that it's either enabled or if not, make sure that they create it so you can see the forms, steps, every element for the process. Yeah, so the process itself might be, again, not available for you. Yeah, that's how you can fix it. Thank you for the question. What do you mean by send the questionnaire via passwordless link? Okay, so the questionnaire that I sent required my client to log in into their client portal, right? A username and password. We have a feature that allows you to send the questionnaires via a passwordless link, which means that you can send it. Let me go back to her contact profile. Let me click on questionnaires, select her, and choose this option, which means that she doesn't have to enter the password or username to log in into the client portal. I can send that link to her via email, or if you are subscribed to text message, you can also send it as a text message. If you, I wonder if I can send, let's say this asylum one. I have sent that one already. I apologize. It looks like I have, I have sent all these questionnaires. I need to delete them. All right, so let me see if I can pick one that's not been sent, or I'll just use a different client. Give me one second. Yeah, give me 1 second so I can show you the next step. I'm gonna pick one of the family members. Yeah, so that's what a passwordless link means, that they're not required to enter the password to be able to look at the questionnaire, respond to it, and it could be, you know, via their cell phone, a tablet, any device. All right, let's try again with this one. I'm gonna pick sending a passwordless questionnaire. Let's pick this one. Oh, by the way, you can also select the preferred language, which means that when they open that questionnaire, they can see it in Spanish, for example. And this particular one doesn't have, so I'll just pick Spanish. I mean, English. All right, so if I want to send the questionnaire to the client, because he doesn't have a cell phone, obviously I cannot send a text message, but sometimes clients, especially overseas, they don't, or they prefer WhatsApp. So you can copy that link into a clipboard and paste it if you have WhatsApp open. So you can send that questionnaire via WhatsApp. If you choose to send it via email, when you click here, send email, just make sure that you copy this link because this is a specific, link for that questionnaire. So I'm going to click here to copy, and then I'm just going to replace right here. Instead of sending them to the client portal, I want them to click here to access a questionnaire. All right, I'm not going to proceed because it looks like that's an actual email. Let's close that. All right, so I hope that I answered your question. But yeah, that's what the passwordless link means. And everyone has access to that feature. When an email is sent to their inbox in the client portal only, or it can also go to the personal email. You're sending them an email with the username and password, and they need to log in into the client portal to complete the questionnaire if you want to send it again to the client portal. Or now you know you can send it with a passwordless link, which means that it can go directly to their personal email. When you updated the address from the questionnaire, does it automatically save the old address to the previous address? No, good question. So if you want to do that, sometimes, for example, let's say this client, his address, let's say that he doesn't live here anymore. So you can click here to move that to the previous addresses, okay? Before you change that, you can move that so you don't have to retype this address into the previous addresses section. So you're going to click here, move to previous addresses. It's going to ask you, are you sure? Please confirm. So it's going to wipe the information from here. But if we go to the history of the previous addresses, it's going to be listed right there. Okay, so just make sure that you add the new address. Or you can also copy from someone else's profile. So let's say Hugo, which is my client's son. I'm just going to copy from his mother's profile. So if I click select, now I don't have to retype the address because it's the same address. So those little things can save you a lot of time. We do have a training called tricks and shortcuts that you can register for, and you can learn all these quick shortcuts and tricks. All right, so let's continue with our presentation. Give me 1 second. So now we know the option to send the questionnaires. Let me see if we have the video available for, they didn't add it right here. Okay, but just don't worry, I added the link right here so you guys can learn how to create your own questionnaires and how to add the translations available. Okay, so now I'm going to play the video for auto-populating the forms. We're going to see how the information transfers to the forms. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Hello, and welcome to our Cerenade video. In this video, we will go over how to make forms auto-populate with client info. In our previous video, we showed you how to create a case for family-based cases and employment-based cases on step 3 of the Create Case Wizard. In this video, we will visit an already existing case to see how the forms populate. Let us search for a case by clicking on Cases on the home page. We will proceed to search for the case by inputting the case name or client name. Once found, click on the case number or the Edit button, which will take us into the case. Now, before we begin, something to consider is seeing how our clients are linked to the case and having a separate tab open taking us to our client profile. From the tabs on the right, click on Case Parties. On the Case Parties tab, you will see your clients linked to the case as well as a role given to them on the case. These roles will play a part in how the forms auto-populate. Each case varies. However, if doing a general family-based case, you will link someone as a petitioner and someone as the alien, meaning someone is petitioning for their spouse, their child, their parent, and so on. To link someone, simply click on Link Case Party. A pop-up will appear giving you the ability to search for the client or create a new client profile. Once you have your client located, define their role as petitioner or the alien. For this client, we will say he is petitioning for someone. Our client is now linked to this case as the petitioner. Let us proceed to link the person they are petitioning for. Let us click on Link Party one more time, search for the client, and define their role as alien. You have now linked both parties. Before we move on, something we can do is right-click on either profile and open it in a new tab. This will come in handy if you need to make instant changes on a client profile that will reflect on a form. We can now proceed to click on the Forms tab to the right. Once in the Forms area, we will click on the form name or the Open Edit button to the left, taking us into the form. Once inside the form, we will notice our form has auto-populated with the client profile we linked in the Case Parties tab. you will see a pink note on the left letting you know which client transferred over. Because we linked a client as a petitioner, their info auto-populated where it is marked petitioner's info goes here. And because we linked someone as alien, their info auto-populated where it says alien's info goes here. Now, even though by default it populated those clients you have linked as petitioner and alien, you still have options to replace info with other client profiles for this specific form. On certain sections, you will find the Select Party buttons. This button helps replace info with another client profile. If we click it, it will ask if we want to replace the client info as well as members of the client. We will select that one. We will then see who we have linked as a petitioner and who we linked as the alien, as well as people linked in their Members tab. If we select one of their names, it will populate that person's information. If we wish to bring back the person we had linked as alien, same steps. Click on Select Party, replace alien and members of the alien, select the person linked as alien, and their info will be brought back. Now, a quick tip. If working on a form and you notice something is wrong, you can manually edit the form, but keep in mind that edit stays only on this form. If all forms need to be updated, you can make the change in the client profile. This is where having the client profile open on a separate tab comes in handy. I can go to that tab, make the change there, come back to the tab where the form is. From here, you have the option of exiting and re-entering the form to have the info appear, or, if wanting to remain on the form, use those Select Party buttons. Click to replace the client's info and select their name again. What this does is it will refresh with the newest info on the client profile. Now, we saw how a family-based case works out, but what if you're doing an employment-based case? It's similar. If we visit our Case Parties tab, we will see already linked client profiles. If not, we will click on Link Case Party. We will search for our employer. Once selected, we will define them as the employer. When doing so, we will be asked the address and the signatory. If you remember from our previous video, you can link a signatory in the Members tab of a business client profile. By doing so, you can select them here. The address is any branch address inserted on that business client's profile. We will select that as well. We have now linked the employer, but what about the employee? We will proceed to click on Link Case Party, search for who they are petitioning for, and link them as alien. We can proceed to go into our forms. If you go into a form, you will proceed to see business info transfer, including the signatory. You will also see who they are petitioning for as well. This concludes our video on auto-population.
Please let me know if you guys have any questions about the forms, and also let me know if you guys can see my screen. I wonder if let's see, just double checking. When should I choose beneficiary and when should I choose alien? You know what? Let me give you a trick. Most of the time it's gonna be alien, but if you open a form, let me go back to any of these cases. It doesn't really matter if you choose beneficiary, alien, or even other, because when you get to the form, you're gonna see the select party button. I always joke and say those are your best friends because they save you a lot of time. Um, Let me go to any of these forms. So see, this one says petitioner info goes here. So if you choose a petitioner, that person's information is going to auto-populate. Even if you don't have a petitioner, this is a button that I'm referring to. If you click select and then you click replace petitioner, most likely you're going to click on the first link because you want the family members also to be present, right? To transfer. See, I have Valeria selected as petitioner. Even if I had this as other or something else, I can click on her name. In fact, let me change to the father, Jorge. I'm going to click on Jorge's name, and then I can transfer Jorge as a petitioner. Okay, it will transfer his information. So if I want to replace Jorge again with Valeria, go back to the link, click on her name, and then I can transfer. That's also a way for you to refresh the information. That's why we always recommend that you open two tabs at the same time. So I can easily go to her account information, make any changes, and then go back to the form and use a select party to refresh the information. Okay? All right. So Let me know if you have any other questions. Let me quickly show you on page 5 of the I-130. It's going to tell you, right, on this page number 5, it says alien. So if you have Francisco as a beneficiary, his information is not going to transfer to the form until you click on the select button and then you choose his name, regardless if you call him beneficiary or alien. But again, the majority of our forms will say either petitioner or alien. Alien info goes here. I hope that answers your question and it helps you. But like I said, when you open a form, use the select button to transfer, to update, refresh. I also recommend that you guys label the forms like I did with this one so I can identify whose form this is, right? So you can make copies. If I need two I-130s or two G28s, I can make a copy of the form. Again, make sure that you guys subscribe to the training that I mentioned for the shortcuts and tricks and just little things that can help you save time. All right, so next area is the client overview. I really like the fact that you can customize a client overview to save time and go straight to the areas of your interest. For example, we have a case overview which you can click on and it shows you exactly areas like basic information, who are the case workers, the forms, etc. I'm going to close that, but show you that if you click on client overview, you can customize this area. You can customize what information do you want to see. Maybe you don't care for invoices or logs, so you can remove that or add other areas. So if you want to customize, you're going to click here on user preferences, and then you're going to click on client overview. So this is where you can add or remove boxes or areas of your interest. For example, I have an empty block sorry, right here. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to choose what do I want to see. So maybe I care for the point of entry. I don't care for the I-94, but I do want to see the arrival date, city, and state. So I'm just going to remove that information, the rest, and apply. So now if I save my changes and go back to my client's overview, let's take a look. Which, by the way, you can also show the or use a shortcut, the load more data, if you want to go straight to the client overview. Let's take a look. See, now I see the I-94 entries that I have, the arrival date, arrival city, and state. So maybe if that's something that you care for, that you want to see right away, you can add that. So now you know how to customize, and that's on a caseworker basis. So you can change your own client overview settings. Okay, just go to your own user preferences. All right, so let's go back to our PowerPoint. The next area I want to show you is case process steps and activities. It's actually a really good feature to stay organized. If you notice, we have the tickler. Let me take you to the tickler, which is also a great tool. This is your general dashboard. You can customize the settings, the layout, and also the time frame. This tickler shows you the reminders, expiration dates, and process steps. I'm going to show you how to create these process steps. These are super helpful because this is kind of like your to-do list. It tells you exactly what you need to do and what's your target date. So it looks like tomorrow I need to review internal credentials. If I click here on the link, it's going to take me to the case and I can take a look at the process steps. Now, the process steps is your workflow or your timeline of the case. Okay. When you guys create a case, if you want to delegate, just like I have the caseworker here who's responsible, make sure that you customize your caseworkers list. For example, maybe I want to involve Benita. So I'm going to link Benita to this case. I'm going to search for her, link Benita. So now she's part of the case. I don't need her information necessarily transferring to the forms, but I do want to keep her in the loop. So when I go to my process steps and I modify the process steps, I can then delegate a step to Benita. For example, how about this one, pending with USCIS receipt notice? Well, we need to delegate that for Benita or to Benita, and I'm going to select the date. So next week on Tuesday, it shouldn't take more than 3 days. The system is going to auto-populate the target date. So now if I want Benita to get an email on the 24th of June, so she knows that she has to do that pending with USCIS receipt, this little box is checked. All right, so maybe I don't want to bother Benita with that email, so I can uncheck that. It's up to you. If you want to send an email to the attorney or paralegal responsible, just check the little box. They'll get an email the day it's due or the target date. Again, even if you don't send that email, you guys can also check that tickler, that report, to see who's responsible for what and when, right? When is this step due? You can also click on the box when you're done. So for example, here, it looks like I need to review the internal credentials tomorrow, which I'm not going to do on Saturday. So I'm just going to complete that today, right? So I'm going to check that box. And now when I run a report, it's not going to show pending. So let's take a look. We're going to save that, go back to the tickler and refresh. Let's go back to the process steps. Now it shows 0. You can always use this tickler to see what's overdue. It's a great tool, not just for solo practitioners, because this is like having your assistant, right, telling you like you need to do this or you forgot to do this, but also as a large organization with uh, you know, multiple paralegals working, you can see who's responsible for what's the productivity level of your team. If you click here on the top left, you can show the data for all the caseworkers. So now I can see that in the next 5 days, we need to take care of these 4 steps. So it's easy to delegate. If someone's out of your office, you can just open the case, look at the process steps, kind of like the timeline of the case, right? And see who's responsible for what steps. All right. I hope that helps you. Now, another feature that's included for all of you is the activities. So if you notice all of these steps that we have to complete throughout the case, you can also add an activity. That activity allows you to create an action. So for example, this one says notification of final education sent to client. I'm going to say my activity is to send an email, maybe a few days after, before, when the process step starts or when it's done. So you can select when you want this activity to be triggered. You can send an email, add a note or log, add an expense if you have billing, or send a questionnaire. Okay, so you can program that action for that particular process step, and that's called activities. I Can you show us how to autofill the forms, please? We have covered that, but if you missed that, we are recording the training, and you can always watch the video on how to auto-populate the forms. So if you want, make sure you download my PowerPoint presentation so you can click on this link. The same video that I play, you can just watch that. Uh-huh. Same thing with the process steps and the activities. I put the video right here. Just click on the link and yeah, it's okay. You just click on the links to learn how to do the process steps and the activities. Right now, I'm going to show you how to create your notes or comments and how to create reminders as well. Which, by the way, again, the reminders auto-populate that same tickler, the dashboard that we talked about, right? So if you go to the tickler, you can see how many reminders you have in the next 30 days. You can also do a negative number here to see if you have past due reminders. All right, so it looks like if I click here on the top left to show the data for all my staff, we have one reminder in the next 30 days at the case level. Right here it says cases, or we can see the client profile. Looks like we have 2. So if I click on the link, it tells me the type of reminder, which you can customize, and it says who's responsible for that reminder. It looks like Alinush has a consultation, so I can actually move that or change that. If I click here and say, you know what, Alinush is not here, we're going to move that consultation from today. I'm going to change the date to, let's say, on the 22nd. So I'm going to change that for the due date. Or if I know that Alinush has finished that consultation, we can change that to completion date and say that she finished that consultation yesterday, right? So you can change multiple reminders at the same time. I'm just going to apply, and it's gone. So make sure that you guys use the tickler to organize yourself to know exactly what's going on, what's coming soon, not just for you, but for your entire team. How to add the reminders. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to take a look at this case. On the right hand side, either at the case level or the client level, you can click on reminders and then again reminders so you can add the reminder. Um, Sorry, I'm reading through the chat. The question says, where can I download the PowerPoint from the last week's training? I'll email it to you. It's not available online, but I'll send it to you. Okay. So how to create a reminder. You can customize these. I highly recommend you do. Instead of just saying, oh, I have a task, you want to know what task, right? Be more specific. Or instead of saying deadline. So if I get an email and it says court date, I know exactly what this reminder is for. So make sure that you guys customize the type of reminders when you go to your admin portal. In the admin portal under types, you can see the type of reminder for client or case profiles. Okay, so just click there to add any type of reminder so that you're specific instead of just saying you have a deadline or task. So let me go back to my caseworker portal to add the reminder. So let's say we have a court date and I want to get an email reminder, or if I have SMS in my package, I'm going to do both email and text message. I'll get the email maybe a day before the court hearing, which is on Wednesday. So I want to get that reminder via email at 7 a.m. And I'm responsible for that court hearing, but I also want to CC my client. So I'm going to search for her client email, check that box, and click done. And now she can get that email. Don't forget that tomorrow we have court hearing. So not only I get myself a reminder, or I'll send myself a reminder, but also notify my client. All right. So every time that you guys create a reminder, not only you can choose to get that actual email, but you can also review the tickler report. How to create a log or note? You click here, logs. You're going to add the comment. Again, make sure that you customize the type or category of comment instead of just saying general. Be more specific. This is regarding change of address, regarding court related, legal advice. I'm just going to change the type of log. I can also mark this as high, very important. I'm going to enter my legal advice. And if I want to share with my client, I can check the box. I'm not going to send an email. I'm just going to enable the information via her client portal. And it's also available as read only. So I'm going to save and close. And I can also pin the note so it stays on top. Okay, regardless of how many notes we add. You can also go to the contact profile, and if you click on logs, if you scroll down, you can show the case comments. So, for example, I'm going to show 10 comments at the client profile, but I can also click here to show case comments at the same time. Okay, so here's the one that we just created. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let's see. I know we're almost done. Let me see. I'm just going to launch a poll, and I want to make sure that the 3 basic steps were clear to you, especially for those who are new. How to create a contact, how to link the family members, and how to create a case. Click on your screen to vote, and we'll go by who's the majority. Okay, I'm just gonna close this, and since we have 67%, I'm gonna continue. But please note, we can download the PowerPoint and you can click on the links to learn how to create a contact, how to link the members, and how to create a case so that you can access the forms. All right, so let me just make sure that you guys can see my screen. Okay, perfect. So Smart Alerts was recently added, it's a great feature to be able to create alerts. Let me take you back to the admin. In your administrator portal, you're going to see under types global and a global client and global case alerts. So if you want to alert your staff when there is a client who owes you, or how about when there's a client who has like um, an abuse party, like if you did a VAWA and now this abuser is trying to hire you, there's obviously a conflict of interest. So you can add an alert to that client. In fact, I think I deleted that. Yeah, last week, and you can watch my videos, I had a funny alert that said call police because this particular client has more than $200,000 on pending invoices, overdue invoices. So if my staff doesn't see that when she's here, I want to add an alert when there is a warning. And you can do that where if you say, you know what, for any invoices that are overdue, I want to add an alert over, globally. Or you can add that on a case by case basis. So now you know. Let's refresh the screen. See the little bell on top? So it tells me that this particular client has over 148 overdue invoices. Anyway, so that's a smart alert, and you can, let me close that, and you can add that for your staff to be aware. All right, so let's continue because I know we're running out of time. So the last step or the last feature I want to show you today, it's called document assembly. I'm not going to play the video, but I want you to click on the link to watch that video. I'm just going to explain to you what that is. When you have a case and you have finished all the forms, let me go to any of these cases. Okay, so let's say that we have completed all the forms, and then when we click on documents, we have letter templates. So these letter templates you can customize so that the information can auto-populate based on the tags that you add. Let's say that we have all the cover letters that we need, all the documents, and also all the evidence, passport, birth certificate, all the legal documents that we need as evidence. You can, by the way, share the checklist with your clients so that they can upload from their client portal. We have a feature called batch upload where they can upload all of these at once. I'm just going to add one document. Let me quickly add one. I'm going to move this out of the screen for confidential reasons. Let me pick any of these. Give me 1 second and then save. All right. Anyway, so let's pretend we have all of the files we need. So what I want to show you, it's called document assembly. It's all the way at the bottom right here at the case profile, and you're going to click new. So you're going to put together your package. I'm going to call this uh, AOS Smith Lee, of course. AOS, and maybe the date. All right, so we're going to put together the package. We're going to add the forms. I'm going to select them all, or I can choose which forms I want to include in the package. I can also add the documents. So here's the file and the letter templates. Again, I'm going to select them and click here to include. I can also click and drag and drop and position where I want to transfer, or not transfer, but print the file, the document. So maybe I want this form right here. I want the cover letter right here, etc. So once we have the package that we want it, we also create the table of contents. And we can see how the page numbers will update accordingly, right? You can always make modifications. I'm going to save that and then email the document assembly, the PDF with everything included. I can also add the footer page numbering and the caption, and I'll send it to my my team to print, or my client if they want to review. So this is the document assembly feature. I'm gonna say send it to, it's actually sending to myself. Let me know if you guys have any questions about the document assembly. And remember, we have the links right here for you to watch the videos. So you will have questions, especially if you're new. These are the resources and support that you have. You can contact us Monday through Friday. You can call us 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, except on holidays, which, by the way, I didn't know, but we're going to be closed next Monday. You can call us. You can email us 24/7. That's our email address. You can also click on your home screen where it says technical support and send us a message, or you can send your feedback to our developers. We have a user's guide available, and of course, these trainings that are free and live on Fridays at 10 a.m. We have a podcast. It's called Cerenade Snacks. We have a forum page on Facebook, which you can um, connect with other users, and also our YouTube channel called Cerenade Client Academy. These are some of the questions that you guys sent to us. How to text message an intake form link. You must be subscribed to our optional module SMS so that if you want to send it directly from eIMMIGRATION, or like I said, you can copy that link to the clipboard and use through WhatsApp. You can also send that passwordless intake form through email. So I put the link right here if you guys want to review that. Can the home dashboard be customized? Not at the moment, but you can actually customize your tickler and, like we learned today, the client overview and other settings right here. How to easily create a client folder and access shortcuts to specific information. I I added the link so you can learn how to create the contact profile, and I recommend you use the load more data button so that you can access the shortcuts. So these are some of the links that you can click on to learn about new. And also, if you're not new and you realize the system looks different, it's because we have a new user interface. So I put the link right here so that you can be aware of the new icons and how everything looks, you know, where everything went, and we have um, a new interface. I was gonna say a new graphs actually and links. Also, we don't have a training next week, but we do have the session links for the month of July. So make sure that you click to register. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our other social media platforms. Thank you so much for watching this video. I mean, sorry. Sorry, I must say I am not feeling well, so I appreciate your patience with me today. It was very hard for me to concentrate, and I apologize, but it's been a tough week personally. But I'm so glad you guys learned something new, I hope. Let me know if you have any questions. I really appreciate your patience and your time, and your satisfaction is our priority. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, don't forget to download the PowerPoint because I added the links just because some of these videos are not updated yet since we have the new user interface, but you can still get the idea, the general idea with the old videos. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Oh, thank you. You too. Bye-bye. So I'm going to stay connected for a couple of more minutes. For those who have questions, especially if you're new, message me before you disconnect. For the rest of you who have to disconnect, again, thank you and have a great weekend. All right, so I don't see any other questions. I'm going to disconnect. Again, thank you for your patience and have a great weekend. Stay safe. Bye bye.